All right, we're going to now build the hands for our character, and then once we get the hands built, we'll attach them to the arms, and then mirror everything over to the other side. All right, we're going to go back to our front view here, and turn off my grid. I don't know why my grid came back on. All right, let's go ahead and start drawing our joints. Now, I'll start here with the index finger. I like to draw them at each knuckle area, the little bend areas. Okay, now you could easily duplicate those and just move them straight down, but I don't mind drawing each chain. There's only 5 short chains to draw, so it doesn't take very long. Now, we are going to have to be conscious of how these joints are rotating, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, let's get this finger done. All right, very good. Actually, move that a little bit forward. All right. Before I draw the thumb, let's go ahead and move these back into position, because if we look here, they're floating. Let me to reference my body here. You can see they're floating in space, so let's get them actually inside of the geometry. Okay. And we definitely have the freedom to select a joint, press D on the keyboard, and we can reposition those just like this. Okay, so any of these that are poking out, you can press D, and we can just kind of push those in. Okay. There we go. And this one, we're going to be good. Okay. So let me template that again. All right, and we'll go ahead and go back to our front view and draw the thumb. Now, thumb's a little bit of a different animal. Okay, we'll start down here in the thumb pad area, the fleshy area. Okay, we'll go up, and to the tip. Just like that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and position this as well. Okay. So we got this lined up now. All we have to do to attach these joints to this wrist joint, okay, so the thumb to the wrist, is to just select the thumb joints, select the wrist, hit P on your keyboard to parent. So it's that simple to set these all up. It takes just a second to get them all lined up. All right, perfect. Now, local rotation, just like what we played with earlier here on the forearm, becomes a major issue when it comes to doing the fingers and anything where we've moved the joints like we've done. What I mean by that is, let me go in here and select each of these joints. I just held down Shift as I selected each one of these joints. I'll activate my rotate tool, okay, and watch as I rotate in Y what happens. Do you see how it curls down? Well, it shouldn't. It should curl right in, just like a real fist. But they're not, because each of the rotational axes are off. So let's go into component mode, hit F8, and you'll see that each one of these axes is off quite a bit. This X is pointing straight out, this one's straight out. What we need to do is have them all pointing to each other. So let's rotate them down a bit. Okay, and let me get out of F8. We'll hit F8 to get out. And now when I curl them, you see how it curls into the hand? That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So let's check these. We'll hit F8. And you can see that these need to be updated as well. You don't have to worry about the last joint. I usually adjust it as well, just in case I end up adding one more joint later and I don't have to redo it as an afterthought. Okay, these are in a straight line, so those are okay. All right, definitely we need to adjust these. Okay, we want them pointing at the joint right in front of it. So we'll adjust that a little bit like this. All right, the thumb, that's it's its own little guy there because we've really moved it into a different position. So let's just double check to make sure that they're all pointing correctly at the right joint. Here we go. And we'll check this little thumb pad area. Go ahead and make sure it's pointing down it's pointing to the next joint. All right, very good. F8 to jump out of that. All right, so we've got the hand built. We're ready to mirror this over. If you want, you're welcome to parent this right away. So you can just select the arm, shift select the back 4 joint, and we'll hit P to parent. There we go. And again, with this arm joint selected, we can go up here to skeleton, mirror joint, and it'll shoot everybody over to the other side. And it also renamed it because it remembered our previous settings, which is pretty good. It did not remember the settings that we had for the IK handle, so let's go ahead and just double check that real quick. Okay, I'll jump over to my hypergraph. We'll select this and let's find out where our pivot point is. It's way back here. I have a feeling we may want to recreate that IK handle, okay, because it looks like it's pointing to the left side. Let's just double check. Okay, no, there's our effector. All right, let's V snap this to the wrist there. Hit insert. All right, perfect. That looks good. All right, while we're here, let's just double check this hand's joints. So I'll just hit F8, and you can see they're totally whacked out. Now, when we mirrored them, let me just double check our mirror options. Yeah, we did orientation. So what we're going to need to do is go in and align these. So X, they're pointing down X, and it doesn't take but a second to do these, especially when you can, mass select them, and these just need a little bit of a tweak. Okay, we'll just point these down like that. Okay, so it just takes just a second. Those look good, actually. And we'll just select these and double check them. Okay, and you notice our Y is angled out. We might want to adjust that so they're pointing straight up. It'll just make, when we add our fist controls later, just make it just a little bit easier. All right. Let me get out of F8 here. We might want to move our wrist down. It looks like we've had some edits to this. So when I snapped my arm, it moved my joints, and that's okay. We can do a little bit of rotation here. So we'll just rotate that into position like so. Okay, we just want to make sure that we're lining up nicely, that all the pieces are positioned in a mirror format. Okay, so there we go. We've got this side done. Let's go ahead and duplicate, Control D, snap that over. Okay, so we have 2 clavicles here, and I'll rename this one to the right. Perfect. Let's come over here. Let's duplicate this wrist control. We'll snap that over, and that'll be the right wrist control. Or, I'm sorry, the right arm control. Okay, we'll go ahead and freeze transformations. Same thing on our clavicle control, freeze transformations. Very good. We also want to add a wrist control, okay, and I'll add that in the next lesson. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Now let's go ahead and get all this stuff hooked up.